awesome raw food recipe. We're going to make some banana chocolate minty ice cream. This is a super easy, fun recipe, and you can make this in your food processor. But what we're going to be using today is the Omega Juicer, and this awesome implement here is a masticating juicer, and we're going to be using the blend, which doesn't currently have in it, so this is what you use to make juice, and we're not going to be using this. We're going to be using this. It doesn't have the screen on it, so it all goes to one place instead of separating the pulp and the juice. So first thing you need in order to make ice cream, raw ice cream that is one of these. And one of these needs to be frozen. And in order to freeze them, I peel them. Now you don't have to peel them, but I like it because peeling them after they're frozen, you have to use like hot water or let it sit for a while in order to allow it to be peeled. And that is really unpleasant because you're holding a frozen banana the entire time, which makes your hands really cold. So I like to peel it, and then I just stick it in the freezer. And one great way to do this is to just use a bread pan and then throw a whole bunch of banana pieces in the bread pan, in like a metal bread pan, throw it in the freezer, and they'll be fun. Another way to do it is in a Ziploc bag, and we're just going to toss this in the freezer. So with our magic time machine, poof, I now have frozen bananas. Didn't even see it happen, right? My time machine is just like poof. Alright, and these in the compost. Alright, and the other thing we're going to need for chocolate minty ice cream is mint and chocolate. So here we have loose peppermint that I just bought loose, and it has, well, it's like tea, but it has a very distinct smell because it smells like peppermint. And this is raw cacao powder, and it's important to get your chocolate raw for a couple of reasons. One, the enzymes are still intact, and two, it tastes a heck of a lot better. Less bitter and more delicious and tasty. And this is by Navita's Naturals, and pretty much all of their products are raw. In fact, it might be 100% of their products that are raw. So, bowl under it. As you can see here, we've got a very creamy wonderfulness. So you can also make this in a food processor, but it won't be quite as frozen because the blade will cause friction and heat it up, and that will cause you to get not quite as ice creamy of a texture. It'll still be delicious, so it'll still be tasty, but it'll be more like a very, very cold pudding or like a very cold slushy smoothie, and whereas this is more like a real genuine ice cream. And you can just do this with plain bananas. You don't have to add anything to it. You could eat it just like this, and well, you have delicious banana ice cream. Once you've already run the bananas through your food processor, well, if you're running using a food processor, you can just throw all the ingredients at once. But once you've run them through a juicer, if you're doing the method I'm using, you'll want to then, at that point, add other ingredients you're adding. So I'm adding a whole bunch of chocolate here. And I would probably, depending on how chocolatey you want it, you could use a teaspoon for 4 bananas and just get a very mild chocolate taste. Or you could use as much as like a 1/4 cup for 4 bananas and get really intense like fudge flavor. So that's really delicious, and I like it that way. I'm just going to lather some cacao powder on here like that. Just run it back through with the mint and the chocolate added to it. And that will give me a super creamy texture, and it'll be very much like a store-bought ice cream, only way healthier and way tastier. This is just frozen banana and the mint and the cacao powder, and it's been run through the juicer. And I now have some dessert sitting next to it that I made yesterday. And this has a pretty stereotypical almond date-ish type of crust, and it's got a middle layer with some coconut oil and strawberries, and it's got this top layer that's chocolate and minty. And it's got some goji berries and some raw cacao beans, which look kind of like almonds, and they're just the chocolate bean. I have this leftover dessert, and I just kind of want to enjoy it in a new way, so I'm going to stick it on top of my ice cream. And I'm also going to put some Goldenberries on it. And these are great when you want something a little bit lighter than other dried fruits. Dates are really high calorie, and you know, if you eat a whole bunch of figs, you're going to feel really full. And these are really light, and they're also kind of tart, and they go well with pretty much everything. So, and there you have it. Chocolate, minty, ice creamy deliciousness with goldenberries and leftover cake. And that's been Recipe Making with Raederle, and I hope you have a beautiful, loving, blissful, joyful, awesome, most delightful day, and merry trails and recipe making and other stuff of glee. So, if you missed it, my name is Raederle, and that's spelled R-A-E-D-E-R-L-E, and my website is raederle.com. Come see me there.